Hello, happy June 17th. I am filming this somewhere right around there. It is in honor of the new moon coming up in Gemini and the energies that we have going around that at the moment. So, to tell a little bit about me, I'm a tarot reader, an astrologer, a Holy Fire 3 Karuna Reiki master. So, with all my transmissions, Reiki is something that is naturally flowing. So, if you would like to accept that, please simply say yes, and the Reiki will flow to you. Uh, I am a Western astrologer. I do focus a lot on the traditional astrology. So I use whole sign houses when I do my readings, and I predominantly am doing my readings for whole sign rising signs. And so that may allow your chart to look slightly different depending on the software and program that you're using. But know that whatever your rising sign is where your most accurate and targeted message with this will be. And so today I have the Light Seers Tarot deck, and I'm also going to be talking a little bit about the new moon and then just giving a card for everyone for the zodiac sign, and then a little reading for the collective. In this new moon that we have coming up here on June 17th, again, it is in Gemini, and it's at the later degrees of Gemini. It's 26 degrees and 48 minutes. And the significance of the location for this new moon is that it's directly across from the Sagittarius side, which is where the galactic center is at. And the galactic center is considered that space where we in our solar field are connected into the galactic, and so the greater intergalactic, and that point is like a fusion of all of the energy of the solar system, and that being directly across from where this new moon is, and talking about the seeding of the curiosity and holding things open for the possibility, and this is just a wonderful time, and that the fact that they're opposite each other, so you standing out and expressing your own authenticity and not holding too rigid to anything, because the Gemini is the twins. It is duality. It is not just one but two, and with that happening, that is being directly across from that galactic center. The Mercury instance, which is the ruler of Gemini, is all about communication and travel and mercantilism, and the exchange of information and product, and how we move things around. And so with all of that coming in, it's also, again, I said communication. So it has to do with writing, it has to do with teaching, it has to do with talking, it has to do with expression of interest, and expression of self. And with that being directly across from the galactic center, that is a reflection. Whenever we have something that's directly across from each other, and we think of the new moon with that, that moon is so big and bright, and it's so reflective of what's across from it. So with this, even though it's a new moon, so both the moon and the sun are at the same space, they are both directly across from the galactic center. And so that is feeding this feeding of new potential that's coming in. And so just know that that is a bonus that is happening here, and this is coming up on Saturday or Sunday, June 17th, 18th, depending on where you are at in the globe. And so, a few things to note is that Mercury is also present in Gemini. And so that is Mercury, the sun, and the moon. So three pieces to our internal puzzle, all hanging out right there in Gemini at this new moon. Now, Mercury is in the very beginning, and the new moon is going to be happening in the very end, but it's still co-present within that sign. So there is the ruler of that sign located there, helping this energy to be acclimated, to be brought in, to be processed and integrated. And so this is a mental mind and activity type moon. So take that into consideration when you're planning any rituals or things that you would like to put into progress. And I do suggest that if you intend on writing a book, this would be a good one to begin that process. Put down something into that chapter, something on that page, put in something that is able to get that book started so that you can then go back to it, but you have that beginning seated. And so that just happened on June 11th. Mercury moved into Gemini, and that will go on until June 26th. And this coming back together of energy, whenever a planet goes back into its home sign, it is like you returning home from vacation. You've got your baggage, you've got your dirty laundry, you have everything that you have to resort through in order to make your home um, back in order from just returning from someplace else. And Mercury's only going to be here for 2 weeks, so he's working really quickly through this sign, acclimating and integrating our mental processes. And why that's super important this time is that all last year, starting from August all the way through March of 2023, so August 2022 through March of 2023, Mars spent that entire time in Gemini. Mars usually only spends about 6 weeks in a sign, and it spent 7 months. So there was a lot of processing, a lot of energy that, look at how the sun has created different shadows. I love it. Um, the uh the mental processes, the things that we wanted to do, the course of action we wanted to take, wherever the Gemini house sits in your chart would be the function that you would have had with it. And that is allowing us to now get the mental mind wrapped around what it is we wanted to take forward. And so it brings back that synthesis of information. This is the first time that Mercury has been here, as well as the sun, since Mars had spent so much time in this sign. And that allows that integration. It allows that wrapping around of the mental constructs with this new course and plan of action that we are taking right now. And then the other big thing that just happened is that Pluto has now made its way back into Capricorn. And so whenever that happens, there's an alchemical change to that. And so Pluto was in an air sign. An air sign is the element of air. It's in the head. It's very quick. It's light. It's moving. It's flowing. It doesn't have any weightedness to it. It's very flitting and like a butterfly. And then now Pluto, the planet of transformation and regeneration and changing things to make them better, even though it may not totally feel like that in the process, has just made its way back into Capricorn. And Capricorn is Earth. So it's releasing those loftiness and boom, coming back into the body, into the feeling. The earth signs are the actual manifestation of things, the things that we can hold in life. And so with this alchemical change where we are now rooting back in, we all have been feeling a little bit different and a little bit out of sorts because again, as we go from air to earth, we have to let go and then reintegrate. And that reintegration that's happening because Pluto's moving in a reverse aspect allows that taking what we just saw and discovered in this new time between March 25th and June 11th, and now we're going to go back for the next 6 months all the way to January 20th 2024, Pluto will be in Capricorn. And so this is that last bit of disentanglement. Pluto is our longest elliptical in our main solar system. And so it takes 246 years for that planet to go around the sun. And so this is the last time that Pluto will be in Capricorn, and it's been in Capricorn for the last 15 years. And so this is releasing things that we've had that aren't serving us. This is resolidifying foundations. This is switching from um, top-down management into to management that actually serves more of the people that are needing it to serve. And so it's really the shifting of that, the loosening of all of those last bricks and mortar so that it can crumble, so that we can rebuild it. But that crumbling creates chaos, which creates fear and anxiety. And you can't have change without creating some kind of rubble, though. Um, I just had my front porch done last year and they had to tear the whole thing down, but I got to see how cool it looked and everything that was underneath there. But then they built it back up brick by brick and made sure that it was pure and solid and then poured the concrete. And now it looks beautiful and it should last me for, let's hope, a really, really long time. And but there had to be chaos before there could be calm. And there was chaos for a while. There was things all torn up. I couldn't use that door. We had to create different comings and goings and allowings. And so know that that's what is going to be happening for the next 6, 7 months or so. And then we also will be experiencing Saturn going retrograde on the 17th, which is the same day as the new moon. That Saturn going retrograde is going to allow a little softening with our need to achieve, with our need to do, with our need to what am I receiving for what I'm putting out? And this will soften it, and it will soften it quite a bit because this is the first time that Saturn will be going retrograde in Pisces, which is where it's at. And it's going to stay in Pisces for the entirety of its retrograde. So it will not switch signs the same as Pluto has just done. But that going back in Pisces, we haven't experienced this on Earth in 26-ish years. And so this is a different feeling in that. And because it's a water sign, because it's an ethereal sign, because it's Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, it's that surrendering. And then Saturn going back and he's like, okay, so what really truly is the foundation of my existence right now? And how can I release anything that is not going to be able to be taken to that next level? And really, because the 12th sign of the zodiac is a little bit of every single one of the other pieces of the pie put together, and then the ability to surrender it, knowing that we experienced a wonderful um, bringing of the whole pie. We do that every year on our birthday. And so this is just a much greater aspect of that, dealing with the planet Saturn, which is the planet of time, effort, constriction, restriction, um, management, achievement, and so this is a soft sign. This is a sign that Pisces is all about water and depth and emotion, and this is not a place where Saturn is necessarily in its happy space, but it's Neptune, its ruler, is there, able to host this planet and planet Saturn, and so it helps it out a little bit, but not it's not a totally comfortable place for Saturn. So that's all happening here this week, June 11th through June 17th, and it will be a potent time. And then following after that period, we then will have the summer solstice, which is happening on June 21st, the longest day in the northern hemisphere, the shortest day in the southern hemisphere, and that ushers in the season of Cancer, the zodiac sign of Cancer, and that is the beginning of summer, spending time with your family, wanting to be in a place that feels like home to you. And so that will be coming up on June 21st. And it's just the prime time for summer to kick in. and transport us away to doing things that are a little more traditional. Cancer likes to do things with the family. It likes to keep up with things that they do regularly. And so hosting and having great foods and barbecues and things of that nature are all something that make cancers happy. The sign Cancer's happy. Uh, and so that's happening here within this week as well. And so lots of things changing and shifting and energies moving. And so by the end of the month, we'll also have Neptune going retrograde. And Neptune again is the ruler of where Saturn's at. It's the ruler of Pisces. It's the ruler of where we want to escape. Escapism is a really big marker of the Pisces, and so there could be a lessening of the desire to escape, or there could be a strengthening of the desire to escape once Neptune goes retrograde, and then that will put Pluto and Saturn and Neptune all retrograde by the end of June. And then in July and August and in September, we'll pick up the other planets that will all go retrograde and we'll end up with Sun, or I'm sorry, we'll end up with Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury all retrograde at the same time. I actually think Venus and Mercury miss each other by 2 days. So, but there's a lot of retrograde action that comes up in the fall time. So know that right now, again, we are softening ourselves into this uh, time here mid-June in what we want to achieve and how hard we need to go after it, and maybe coming up with alternative ways that we can see on the horizon as this newer energy is about to blossom and come in. Okay, so the card that I received as I was shuffling for the collective here is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups, what I love on this one is this little icon up here in the top corner. Will we focus? And that's a little pig flying. And this is showing that uh, your perception may not always be correct because sometimes it's on a loop. And so if you look, his legs are cut off at the bottom here, but they show up at the top. And saying that we may not always see things for what they are, and we may attribute them to other things. What is this in the back here? There's a set of hands that are showing a little heart and a symbol here. Waiting for that to focus as well. I'm not sure that's going to, but saying that there's a gift coming in that will bring in emotional fulfillment to us, and it's in this water sign. The Page of Cups is about water, and so we were talking about Saturn being in a water sign and Neptune being in a water sign, and the energies that are going to begin to go retrograde and allow a softening and an allowing to come in. And maybe that allowing will allow a change in our perception, will allow us to see how the phrase "when pigs fly" is representative of only as far as you put boundaries on yourself and the limiting beliefs that you have, because um why not? Pigs could fly. I've used that phrase and I've talked about this before, and I just love that that came up in the card here. And then, so doing 3 cards for the collective, I've got, um, let's get us another card here. The deck is pretty silent right now. Oh, next card we received is the 5 of Cups. And that came in upside down. And the 5 of Cups upside down, it's a lovely looking card. And she's here kind of tipping the bowl over with her toe. Are we going to focus? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. So she has three singing bowls. It looks like they've all dumped over on this side, and then she still has the one in her hand, and she's just noticing how it's all swirling down into the middle, creating one bright light from it, and wondering whether or not she should proceed with what she's got going on and kind of not paying attention to the rest and what is spilled and mourning their loss and not really seeing that they still have a great function, the singing bowls, even though they don't have water running from them. And so each of these has kind of cracks running underneath it, meaning that there's nothing to tap from any longer, that that well is dry, but kind of letting this other bowl run dry and not paying attention to the resources that she has and making sure that there's coming in as well as going out. And so this says with the Page of Cups that some ideally because it's a page it is ends up being a person, but it's a very young energy. A Page of Cups is super young and innocent and willing to put in tons of effort and show you how great it is to trust them. But the follow through may not be fully there because it is such a young energy that it may not have that full awareness of the whole scope of what they're promising. So just know that that energy coming in is willing to do but may not have full awareness of the scope of what it is that they're saying that they're willing to do. And then having the Five of Cups coming in upside down, another cup. So we're in the emotional realm. It is all about realizing that you still have some resources. When this comes in upside down, it's that we're standing in our own way to myself. And that standing in your own way is about releasing the fact that you are focusing on all the spilled ones and you still have resources that are there. You just need to turn your perception and focus on those. And then in the final outcome, uh, what we received, it was two cards came flying out, and one is the Ace of Pentacles, and the second is the Knight of Wands. And I love that they pair together. The Ace of Pentacles is something brand new, something that's freshly being rooted in our person. And the Pentacle again is that manifestation. And so it's the ability to receive something tangible from what you're putting roots in the ground for. And then the Knight of Wands is a quest. And so the need to experience, the inspiration that comes from trying something new, the desire to create something new and knowing that there's a passion behind it by starting the process of that freshness. And so that they're pairing together is just terribly beautiful to me. So if we're looking at timings as well, the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups does not have a timing, but the Page of Cups does, and it's water timing. So we have Cancer coming up in just a couple weeks, like I said, actually just a week from today, on June 21st. And then there's also Scorpio, which is in the end of October, beginning of November. And then this could also lead to sometime around Pisces season, which is the end of February, beginning of March. And so know that you're trusting something new, bringing in that emotional fulfillment. Maybe people are saying that it can't happen, that pigs fly, and it's a far-fetched idea, and that you need to slow down and take longer time. Sorry about that. But the fact that the Five of Cups came in upside down, it is that you're leaving that place of isolation, leaving that place of I don't have enough and there isn't anything that I'm going to get from what I have, and allowing yourself in this future aspect where it is the Pentacle, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands coming up with some fierce inspiration and something that's really going to get rooted. And I love that reading for us here as a collective. So we're going to get into the readings for each sign. The first cards that I drew for the Aries for this Gemini new moon is I received the 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles. So you got two cards, but they popped out in reverse. And so this is telling me in terms of Pentacles that you're blocking your own ability to receive the resources. And so the first one here, the Six of Pentacles, is said that there has to be an even take of give and receive. And there's the infinity symbol behind all of the pentacles. And there are two hands, and one is giving to the other, and one is receiving. And so there is a proper time to give and take. And when you're standing in your own way, you're not able to receive all that you have and potentially are not giving to what is in your benefit to therefore then allow the space to receive. And then the second card, the 10 of Pentacles, if you look and I place it upright, it is, you can see that there's the happy dog and the parents and the kids, and everybody is playing and having a good time with the pentacles, and there's joy and fulfillment. And up at the top, there's the Kabbalah. I am not trained in anything in regards to the Kabbalah, but I do know that that is on here as a symbol, as well as um, the pentacle of Venus. And so this again came in upside down. So this is saying that there's a perception or a way that you are standing in your own way that needs to be shifted for this moon to then bring you the resources that people want to give you to help you become in full emotional fulfillment. But until you shift a perception, because again, upside down is all about standing in your own way, then it will come in the resources as well as the fulfillment that is brought in with the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles, again, is tangible things, resources, things that you can actually feel and be within your hands. So thank you, Aries. I hope that resonates for you for this new moon that's coming up on June 17th. The card we received for Taurus is the Five of Cups. And so I can see where this is the energy for a Taurus right now. You've gotten your booty kicked for the last 2 years now, and you're feeling like most of your cups have tipped over and what is left. And I understand that. We have completed 95% of your eclipse axis, and we have one last eclipse that will be coming up on October 28th, and that releases completely the Taurus Scorpio axis. But until then, there's still a little bit of action and activity that's going on. And so don't feel the idea with this card is that a lot has left already, and it had to leave in order for you to make these next changes that are coming in your life. And know that what has left is now open space for you to be able to plant these new seeds. But it came in your emotional world. So allow yourself the time to do some mourning, but also know that it is okay to now get up and move into newer newer ways, because that's coming around the corner. Thank you so much, Taurus. I hope that resonated, and I hope that your new moon in Gemini is amazing. My Gemini new moon card that I pulled was the Seven of Wands. And so the Seven of Wands as well is higher ground. And the idea to me in this card is that you've put in the time, you've put in some effort, you've spent some time getting to know yourself, and you're inside the little psychic bubble there, and you know everything that's going on, and people can see from the outside that there's been a change and that you have this air to you of difference and change, but not everybody knows what's going on. And so all of these wands down here in different colors and different things to me mean and express that it needs to go out, and others need to know now what you have been working on and where you have been going and what they need to express, because you are on the higher ground, and now you have to disseminate that information and create that inspiration for others, Gemini. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. This is your new moon, and I hope it really does wonders for you. Thank you for allowing me to tap into your energy, and I hope that resonates. Cancer, we received the sign of Cancer, we received the world upside down. And so, again, when I receive a card upside down, it means to me that you're standing in your own way. And the card of the world is meaning that you've finished a cycle. If you look and see that there's a space where the cycle begins and ends right over here in the card, and it's at that space, it's at that knowing that we are in the point of completion, and now we're about to really move into new and different energy. But the having it come in upside down means that you want and are trying to keep that old energy around and kind of not going with the flow in allowing in that change. And so I encourage you to change your perception just a little bit, because the world has something that it wants you to receive, something new. The completion, therefore, is thus the beginning of something. And then there's all this sacred geometry around the card, and within the card here, if you can see the flower of life behind her showing through, and her dress is the color of the rainbow. And so many different symbolisms here of saying that you have to trust and believe in the part of the new cycle where you're leaving the old and allowing for the new. And that is uncomfortable, and that can create chaos. But know that standing in your own way and trying to stop it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And the world wants to give you something great. So I will leave it there, Cancer. I hope you have a great new moon, and I hope that resonates as well. For Leo, Leo also received two cards, and oh, holy moly, look at these two cards. You got the Star and you got the Ace of Wands. And so this star is just beautiful, and it is wishes granted. It is fortune coming in. It is allowing in that space of the new and the universe providing for you. And then the Ace of Wands is the inspiration coming in and hitting in so that you can create the dream with it. And then the color scheme between the two is just so complementary. It's such a beautiful set of cards. So no, dream big, Leo. This is something that is gorgeous and wonderful and waiting for you, and it is right for you to receive this in this new moon. So the Star and the Ace of Wands, how beautiful. I hope that you can take that energy, that having the universe fulfill your wishes and bring in that inspiration and channel that down into the ideas, which is what the Gemini new moon part is, so that you can then next month bring it into the feelings. And next month doesn't take that long to get here. You just have to really channel that energy in until the 21st, when we get to Cancer season and the emotions begin to come in. So looking forward to hearing about how that plays out for you, Leo. I'm going to move on to Virgo. Virgo received the Four of Cups upside down. And so the Four of Cups upside down is the boredom is releasing itself. And so again, standing in your own way, but standing in your own way of not being bored. And so you've found the inspiration. You've received something that allows you to take it to the next level. And this is the ability to do something different, to find fulfillment in something that you didn't see. Three of the Bulls, she's like bored with, and I've already done and played those, but doesn't see that the rainbow is coming in and out of this other bowl waiting to be used and allowed to flourish. And so open your eyes, Virgo. There are resources there that you're just turning a blind eye to. Um, Part of that standing in your own way. So releasing that energy and allowing in some emotional fulfillment that the universe is bringing to you, that will pop you out of the boredom. Thank you so much, Virgo. I hope that the new moon treats you well. And I'm moving on to Libra. Libra received the Magician card. What a beautiful card. The number 1 with that infinity symbol up at the top. And the Magician is all about knowing that you are the master of your future, knowing that you have all the tools to create whatever it is that you need. The cups, the swords, the um, wands, and the pentacles all are within the magician's realm and all at their fingertips to use. And so know that that magic that comes through, that infinite potential of having all the tools and the knowledge and the ability to use it and then creating something amazing from it is within your potential. Being an air sign, and this is an air sign moon, you'll have some activations coming with that and in your field as well. So know that this card is just so beautiful. All the elements are within, and then it is rolling down into a Fibonacci spiral. So had a knock at the door. Sorry about that. So back to this magician, all the elements are there and represented: earth, air, fire, water. So knowing that that creates, it starts with the inspiration, which leads to the thoughts, which you have to bring through your emotional field, which then creates the physical manifestation and tangibility of something. And that is all there, Libra. So harness in this energy and create something new, because the universe wants to use you as its vessel to put it out into the world. Listen up. I am sending you love, Libra, and moving on to Scorpio. I hope you have an absolutely fabulous new moon, Libra. Thank you. Scorpio received the Knight of Pentacles. So the quest for stability and knowing that it takes time and effort and practice to have the return from what you've put in. And that's what the quest from the Knight of Pentacles is. It's a very stable, reliable, it's that receiving the bounty back from planting in the garden kind of aspect. It takes time, it takes effort. You have to water the seeds. You have to plant the First, you have to till the soil, then you plant the seeds, then you water the seeds, then you sun the seeds, then you water the seeds, then you pull out all the weeds, then you water the seeds, you sun the seeds. So the effort, and then finally after a point, then you get to receive the reward from it, the bonus, the fruits of your labor. So know that that is coming to you because you've been putting in the work, you've been putting in the time, and you are now able to begin to receive that back, Scorpio. And again, you have one last eclipse coming up at the end of October. October 28th, in order to move out of that cycle for yourself. So these planting of these pentacles, this quest for stability, is going to really be solidified when we get later into the year. Thank you so much, Scorpio. I hope you have a fantastic new moon in Gemini, and I'm moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius received the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords to me is a card of taking what is useful to you and leaving behind the rest. And so that is, if something doesn't exist in cohesion with yourself, that you take what does work and leave behind the rest, and know that you don't have to stay. Like this bird is squawking and telling all the others, and the others are talking about how he's taken some of the feathers um and just spreading the word and sometimes it's better to get out of the gossip and the mental anguish than it is to stay in it and put up with what's been going on. So Sagittarius, just know that there is the ability to take the good and then leave the bad and move on and find something else that is more suiting for you. So I hope that is resonant for you for this new moon in Gemini, Sagittarius, and I am sending you love in figuring out what it is that is working in your best interest and leaving behind the rest. Moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn received 2 cards as well. They received the 3 of Cups as well as the King of Pentacles. A lovely combination here. And the 3 of Cups to me is celebration. And if you look at it, they're looking up at the Pleiades constellation. And so that 3 of Cups is just showing how special relationships can be, but you have to invest the time to create them and flourish within them. They don't just happen overnight for nothing. There has to be time spent to create them, a sisterhood, a brotherhood. And the King of Pentacles is somebody who's put in the work and done a lot of the time and effort. And the King of Pentacles is actually a great representation of either Capricorn or Taurus or Virgo because it's an earth card, it's a pentacle card. And so that's very befitting of the Capricorn. And so what this says is that you've put in the time, you put in the effort, you've gotten the achievements, you've really been doing the stuff, but are you celebrating the wins? Are you enjoying life because you've put in the time and you have the wisdom? And it doesn't mean that you have to have something be arduous in order to enjoy it. So that is my message for you, Capricorn. I hope that resonates for your new moon, and wishing you love. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius received the Devil card, which is the Capricorn card. And so this to me is the card of social conditioning. And so because Pluto just went into your sign and then came out and now is back into Capricorn, which is technically the representation of the devil here, it is reacclimating yourself to what is now your reality, because you were emboldened by the energy of Pluto moving into your sign. And now that it's back out, you're feeling a resonance of being left behind in a little bit of a way. And this is saying leave the conditioning behind of the previous so that you can move on to this new energy, allowing in the ability. Don't let yourself be the puppet of someone else. Make sure that you are releasing that conditioning, that thought that it needs to be something of what has been experienced before, because that's not what we're moving into. We're moving into energy that is not been experienced before. So therefore we cannot predetermine what is going to happen, because that's not the energy of where we're going. And so lose the conditioning that you have and allow it to open up so that you can experience this new energy, and will feel a lot better, easier in a smoother transition for yourself. So thank you, Aquarius. And then my final pile, Pisces, you also received 2 cards. So the first card was the King of Wands, and the second card is the King of Swords, but in reverse. And I find that very interesting because the King of Swords in reverse is making sure that your integrity is on par, making sure that the words that you are using adequately represent what it is that you want to say, that you are not mincing your words, that you are expressing yourself with the highest authority and integrity. Like you see the owl and you see that he's just casually hanging out on the side of a mountain here. But having that come in upside down, you're questioning your own integrity. You're questioning the authority that you have. But coming out with the King of Wands, he's all about authority, and that's the inspiration, and knowing that inspiration is what's taking you forward. So by both of these cards coming out, they represent Well, the King of Wands could represent a Sagittarius, a Leo, or a why can't I think of the other one? A Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And then the King of Swords can represent Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. And so the timings of those or the signs of the people can both be aspected in that. And the fact that these are both people cards, it could lead to something along the lines of saying that, well, this could be a Leo Aquarius axis and watching out for those timings for you because the owl and the lion. Um, but knowing that your integrity is on par because of your inspiration. So don't let somebody steal your idea. That's what these cards say to me. Make sure that you're keeping your ideas close to your chest. The inspiration is yours. Do not go off talking all about it loosey-goosey because you want your integrity to stay intact, and not be tarnished by some other ways. So keep that inspiration close, those cards close to your chest, Pisces. I hope that resonates for your new moon. And it was such a pleasure to be able to deliver these messages. I look forward to the next opportunity that I get to read for the collective, and the new moon in Gemini coming up on the 9th or the 17th of June will be an amazing time highlighting our curiosity and allowing us to run around with childlike glee and not be stuck with one thing. So allow many things and seeds to be planted so that we can further grow in our inspiration and in our mind and in our capacities as a whole and a collective. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Alicia Clark Tepper. You can find me at sacredlotus.com, and the rest of my information will be linked below. Have a great day.